Hari Om. We are studying Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga, Slokas 57 to 61.
ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे साङ्ख्ययोगो नाम द्वितीयोऽध्यायः।
Sloka 57. Yaha sarvatran abhisneha tat prapya subham nabhinandanti nadveshti tasya prajna pratishtita. Sloka 57. Summary. Bhagavan said, He who is in this world without attachment on facing anything good or bad, who is neither rejoices nor hates, his wisdom is fixed. Bhagavan Sri Krishna continues to define attributes of a man of steady wisdom. Sloka 57 indicates the nature of a man of self realization, one who is unattached to objects and beings and continues his life in equanimity and poise. What is attachment or raga? The want or desire in all of us and fulfill the incompleteness is called raga. Example, I like it and I want it. I want it to be happy. I am attached to it to get constant happiness. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose happiness. This type of attachment to objects and beings is common for all of us. The one with detachment from worldly objects and beings is perfect balance of life and faces all challenges of life, good or bad, and joy or sorrows equally. Bhagavan just indicated the third attribute of a man of steady wisdom, that is detachment. Swami Chinmayananda mentions that forceful detachment from objects of the sensuous world is not considered as detachment. Arjuna also wants to leave his duty and responsibilities and spend his life as a sannyasi in the forest. Detachment from the worldly object or objects should be combined with a balanced outlook to face all challenges in the life. The man of wisdom experiences best or the worst in their life with equal detachment because he is established in the self. Sloka 58. Yada samharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvasya indriyanindriyardebhyah
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Summary Sloka 58. When, like the tortoise, which withdraws its limbs from all sides, he who withdraws his senses from the sense objects, then his wisdom becomes steady. Sloka 58 indicates the fourth attribute of a man of steady wisdom. The fourth attribute is a special skill of withdrawing one's senses from all sensuous objects, like how a tortoise instinctively withdraws its limbs into itself and feels safe within when faced with a danger. Each individual has five sense organs that gives knowledge of the external world. These five senses bring various stimuli from the outer world that gives a person disturbances in life. The capacity to withdraw at will from all senses is called in Yoga Shastra as pratyahara. Through the control of breath, one can attain this particular skill or yoga. A man of steady wisdom has the capacity to fold back at will all his senses from all of or one of the field of its activities.
Sloka 59. विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्ज्यं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते.
Summary Sloka 59. Although an embodied soul may restrict the objects of the senses and their enjoyment, the longing for their taste remains. But he whose self is fixed in the Supreme, longing also turns away. Bhagawan Sri Krishna in slokas 59 and 60 continues his discourse on effects of senses on a man who is a spiritual seeker and a man with a steady wisdom. The senses of a man who is a sadhaka or a spiritual seeker is unable to enjoy sense objects for many reasons and has forcefully suppressed his desire for those sense objects. He thinks that he has the control over the senses, but the taste for those sense objects remain dormant in him and does not cease to exist. But a man of steady wisdom who tasted the supreme bliss, the craving for the taste of sense objects goes away. This verse could be explained better by forceful stopping of eating sweets by a diabetic person for health reasons. But the craving for the sweets does not go away and remain dormant in the person. When a favorable or a temporary or a tempting situation arises, his sense for the sweet projects and makes the person to consume sweets, but a man of steady wisdom who has tasted the supreme bliss, which is sweeter than sense object, he will neither be tempted nor interested in eating sweets.
Sloka 60. यततो ह्यापि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमादीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः.
Summary Sloka 60. O son of Kunti, turbulent senses do violently carry away the mind of a wise man, though he may be striving to control them. Bhagawan Sri Krishna in Sloka 60 states that how one has to be very vigilant on how the senses are looking for an opportunity to capture the mind and intellect at a will of a wise man who is in a steady state of wisdom as well. In the path of spirituality and understanding of wisdom, a wise man's senses becomes very violent and can be out of control and forcefully take away the mind as well as intellect towards the worldly objects. It is to be understood that due to veiling of our intellect, that is avarana, and lack of peace and agitations in the mind, vikshepa, the wandering mind is controlled by the senses and takes it into the sensory world. Bhagavan is cautioning the highly evolved seeker that he is also not excluded in this phenomenon of capture of the mind by senses.
Sloka 61. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वसे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Summary Sloka 61. Having restrained his senses, and senses are fully under his control, fixes his self on Paramatma, he is known as a man of steady wisdom. In Sloka 61, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, while continuing the discourse on the attributes of a man with steady wisdom to Arjuna, is cautioning on how a seeker or sadhaka falls away from the path of self realization. There is every possibility of the one who, after practicing the yoga of meditation and tasting the supreme bliss, because of overconfidence, he might relax in his tapas. During this relaxation period, the senses comes back with vengeance and control the mind. Take it from the poise of perfect meditation. Swami Chinmayananda in his commentary states that sense organs are the saboteurs of the field of the self and bring downfall of the same. A seeker of self perfection should constantly be vigilant and control his sense organs. Here, the Bhagavan also provides a solution of concentrating and focusing onto the supreme or the self or the conscious by sitting steady. Swami further defines the man of perfection. He quotes, "He who has all his sense organs of their own accord, lying tamely surrendered at his feet, and who has come to rediscover the infinite perfection in himself, is called the man of perfection." What are the attributes of a man of steady wisdom? Let us recollect it. Desirelessness, that is, removal of all desires. Free from all attachments, that is the second attribute. The third attribute is maintaining equipoise in all situations. That is the third attribute. The fourth attribute is has control over senses. Longing only to the self. That is the fifth attribute. And always concentrating and focusing on the Supreme. That is the sixth attribute of a man of steady wisdom. Hari Om.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः